Colts Talk presented by Prize Picks. I did want to mention before we get into the show, when you use code HMA as a new user on Prize Picks, your first $5 lineup, you'll get $150 in lineups if you win that first lineup. So be sure to take advantage of that. More on that later. Shane Steichen, is he an underrated head coach? Yes, the term underrated is what we're going to discuss on today's show. We like to feature the Sharp football analysis, Warren Sharp and his group talking a lot lately with their 2026 football preview coming out. I will say, he has mentioned a couple different coaches, couple different thoughts, but he really went in on why Shane Steichen is an underrated head coach. So we're going to get into that and the stats behind it for Shane Steichen. And of course, what does he need to do in 2026 to keep his job? Before we get into it, any point during today's show, you'll have a thought, you'll have an opinion, you'll leave a comment. Be sure you share the show with another Colts fan. See what they think about Shane Steichen, about Colts Talk, about anything else we're talking about here on the show. Be sure to share it. You can do that on social media or just by texting it to a friend. Here is what Warren Sharp had to say on Shane Steichen. I think Shane Steichen might be the NFL's most underrated, undervalued play scripter that we have. In the 3 years that he's been in Indianapolis, his offense has ranked in the top 3 in points per drive in the first quarter, scoring rate on drives in the first quarter, and punt rate on drives in the first quarter. He continues, the other teams that are in the upper echelon of the NFL when it comes to first quarter offense, game scripting, and starting fast offensively, we're talking about elite offenses like the 49ers, the Lions, and the Rams. Good company to keep. It's nothing but the brilliance of Shane Steichen that has this offense starting games so quickly. Here's one more nugget I found in my research that blew my mind while I was writing the 2026 football preview. You can check that out on Sharp's website. Last year, when Daniel Jones was healthy during the first 10 weeks of the season, the Colts scored on 52% of their first quarter drives and reached the red zone on 60% of those drives. Driving into the red zone on 60% of your first quarter possessions in the red zone was the second best mark by any team this century. We're talking about all 32 NFL teams for 26 years since 2000. That was the second best mark of any team during that span. Look, a lot there in general, but I will note Colts are starting fast under Shane Steichen, right? The first quarter has been extremely efficient according to what was said there. And Sharp noted this, and that's with the quarterbacks that he's had over the years in Indianapolis, right? The Anthony Richardson era hasn't worked out. Neither is Joe Flacco. You're stuck with Phil Rivers for a few games. Daniel Jones, obviously, a good start going there, and then Riley Leonard. So you look at this quarterback group that Steichen's doing that with, that he continues to script well and get these guys ready to go out of the gate. Pretty impressive when you consider, I'll be honest, you got no world beaters there on your quarterback list in Shane Steichen's time. Stephen Holder quote tweeted this one from Warren Sharp. Now, he noted there's obviously a lot more to being a great coach than good play and scripting, but there might be no one better at it than Shane Steichen. He has a unique understanding of matchups and how to exploit them. The trick is to build on that after defenses adjust as the game goes on. I like what Holder says here because he says 2 main points. I'm impressed with the stats. Maybe there's nobody better than Steichen. Maybe he's one of the top guys. However, the opening line, there's obviously a lot more than scripting to being a great coach. And the trick is to build on it after defenses adjust in game, which is essentially like, forget the first. What happens after that? So what I want to do now, I want you guys down in the comment section below to give Shane Steichen a grade as a head coach. I thought about doing overrated or underrated. Nah, let's go straight to a grade. So far with the Colts, A, B, C, D, or F. And I will note, these are impressive numbers. Shocked me. I mean, we're talking about pretty good since 2000, right? That Shane Steichen has been in general with the Indianapolis Colts. Plus, again, that quarterback list, not great. I think he hasn't found his starter yet. Hopefully Daniel Jones is that. I think they think that. But, Steichen clearly has done a lot with a little at the quarterback position in general for Indianapolis when we're talking about getting fast, getting going, and an extreme efficiency in those opening drives. I have a couple more thoughts on this, but first I wanted to note, I know Colts fans are very excited to get back to watching the Colts in person, right? Which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. That's SeatGeek with the MLB in full swing. Football is getting closer and closer, and everybody just taking advantage of the World Cup tickets on SeatGeek. That's right. I love using SeatGeek. It's always the app I recommend to my friends when we talk about going to a game. I know we'll be using it for Colts games coming up this season for sure because SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. You just have to look for the green dots because when you see green, that means good. If you see red dots, that means bad when you're looking at your tickets on SeatGeek. And, of course, today we have a code for you guys, and this is whether you're a new or existing user. You can use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Plus, SeatGeek made it easy for you. You just have to make sure you click the link in the description to download the app, and that'll have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thanks, SeatGeek. I'll also note with Shane Steichen, we're growing a little bit of respect from these numbers, but the NFL has respect, I think, for Shane Steichen. You see it there from Sharp, Stephen Holder, others around the league. Obviously, Philly, I think, still loves Shane Steichen and things like that. But as Holder said, as I'm thinking as we go through these stats a little bit here, the idea is, great, you're really good starting the game. You're really good coming out of the gate. You're good with the scripting, with the play calling here. But it's more than that in the world of coaching, the world of the NFL. You can have that strength, but we're going to need more. You look at the Colts under Steichen, facts are you may be very good at this scripting, and we'll get into some more stats too here in a second, but it hasn't resulted in what it should. Playoff appearances, winning the division, heck, a 500 record, right? Over 500 record. These are impressive stats, and we're going to hit on that a couple times today when we see impressive stats, but it's not translating for Steichen into wins in general. Here, as you can see, he'll enter his 4th season below 500 and looking for more. So we give credit there for Shane Steichen on what Warren Sharp had to talk about, but there are other stats talking about the red zone that they got into a little bit with Indianapolis, specifically goal-to-go offense for the Colts and teams around the NFL. Now, goal-to-go offense is how it sounds. Sharp highlighted Indy's efficiency when the offense had first and goal opportunities in 2025. How did they come out of it? According to Sharp, the Colts are the most efficient or one of the top goal-to-go offenses. And again, that's when you get down inside the 10 and it's first and goal. What happens after that? Sharp had the Colts as the number 1 goal-to-go offense in the NFL from 2025. Just thought they were, obviously from the rankings there, really, really good. And the big one is Indy turned 93.8% of their goal-to-go opportunities into touchdowns. They start first and goal. The Colts are scoring 93% of the time. They were a very good goal-to-go offense last season. And this was a big thing for Sharp as well. He really loved on the idea of how good the Colts were, under Steichen to start games. But this goal-to-go situation was another huge hitter for what Steichen's offense is doing in Indy. Sharp noting, if you don't have a coach adept in goal-to-go scheming and play calling, you can't win in today's NFL. He notes a big chunk of touchdowns in the NFL are goal-to-go. A big chunk of rushing and passing and inside the 10, specifically scoring. Steichen also good with that in general. However, I'm sorry, I keep coming back to it a little bit when we talk about underrated, overrated, whatever. With Steichen, he says, without this, you can't win in today's NFL. Well, what happens when you have it? Are you winning in today's NFL in general? That's my question with the Colts under Steichen and this goal-to-go efficiency and start the game efficiency that we're seeing. My question for you guys heading into 2026, how many wins will the Colts have in 2026? Give me a number of wins you think Indy can come up with in the 2026 season. A big season. Give us a number down below. Obviously, you're good in the goal-to-go scenario. The Colts are also good in red zone. They're one of the top 5 teams as well in that category. 66 red zone drives. And the red zone, you're starting at 20. So from goal to go, it's 10. Red zone, 20. So a different number there. But again, getting closer. They're efficient when they get close to scoring, right? They're one of the top teams there at 65% of the time. Then if they get inside the 10, it's 90% of the time. So good stuff there from Sharp. And again, all impressive numbers, but they clearly aren't leading to wins for Indianapolis. That's all I could think about over and over again when I looked at these scenarios, when I looked at all the numbers and underrated, overrated. Great for Steichen on this. Good numbers on that. Good efficiency. Good percentage. Love to hear it. Not leading to wins for the Colts, which I think is and should be a big talking point in general. Before we continue, I wanted to feature a Prize Picks lineup that we'll be tracking during the season coming up here. Yeah, that's right. This is a season-long lineup. Not one night, not one game, not one weekend. This is a season-long lineup. Some of the guys that we think are going to have big sacks coming up here, and this will show you how easy it is to put together a lineup on Prize Picks. You just select the names. Ruben Bain Jr., Myles Garrett, Quinnen Williams, and Max Crosby are who we're feeling good about. More on their sack totals. Crosby, 10.75. You get the half sack, so that matters in all this. Quinnen Williams, 5.25. Myles Garrett, 15.75. And Ruben Bain, 5.75. We went more on all those numbers. You could do less. You could do more. Again, that's how easy it is to put together these lineups on Prize Picks. Plus, I mentioned it earlier, the new user offer. Play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use code HMA when you sign up. That's right. Prize Picks just switched up their offer, so there's no better time to join, lock in, and win that first lineup. That's code HMA at sign up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5. And that's on Prize Picks, code HMA. We always like to note on Prize Picks, it's good to be right. So the question we are debating overall, does this make Shane Steichen underrated, overrated? How are we feeling about him? I think the general consensus, again, from Holder, from Sharp, and now from myself, I agree. You have a very good OC or coordinator, right, in Shane Steichen. That's why you hired him. He's a play-calling head coach. And I will say, when you have a play-calling head coach, it's good to know he's good at scripting and calling plays and getting plays out there in general. And again, red zone efficiency is good. Goal to go is good. With Daniel Jones, pretty good. Sharp noted as well. Even sometimes good with bad quarterbacks in general. So that's all pluses for saying Steichen's underrated or not getting enough love as a coach there. However, straight up, the point is we have a coach on the hot seat this season. That's just the facts. 3 years in, haven't been to the playoffs, below 500, overall as a record, haven't won the division. And again, a lot of talent at different positions that can go outside quarterback, running back, things like that. And we've recapped, like, Steichen's got to put it together this year. It hasn't been good enough. It needs to be better. And underrated, overrated, I don't really care. If you're very efficient in the red zone, great. Then we should be winning games, right? If you're very efficient to start the games, you should be winning games, right? That should help you. We're not seeing that yet from Steichen. I want to see more, and I want it to lead to wins in general. And I want it to, obviously lead to saving his job if that can happen. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest here on Colts Talk. Be sure you're subscribed. It's free, easy to do, and you'll get everything you need to know with your favorite team, the Indianapolis Colts.